reality. And DnT is off. Looks like Intricacy is off. The team started basically simultaneously. The first boss that they're going to come to is a champion knight, which has some pretty hard-hitting attacks, but with these teams, I'm going to guess that they're going to ice bow it and burn it down very quickly, since it only has champion-level health pool.
Yes, that would be the most likely thing to see. And they might even still have ice bows for the Hounds of Balthazar and for Balthazar himself. Or I guess the Priest of Balthazar, rather. So it looks like the Knight has just spawned for DnT. And he's up for Intricacy as well. He is dying extremely fast on both teams. And it looks like they'll be on to set up to fight the first boss, or the first legendary boss, rather. The Priest of Balthazar.
Yes, and the legendary Priest of Balthazar, for those not familiar with the Raw Path 4, he is a sort of a mix between an elementalist and a warrior. He drops AoE fireballs that are like a meteor shower, and he also has an Axe 5 type warrior spin attack. If you sit in that Axe 5 spin attack, you will get killed quite quickly, and those AoEs will one-shot a squishy class. So this is a pretty deadly boss if you're not used to his mechanics. Look like Intricacy is just burning him straight away. DnT also doing it. Looks like they've both engaged the spin. They're neck and neck as far as DPS goes. This is one of the situations where Intricacy having a Mesmer is going to give them a little bit of a DPS edge, in that Time Warp is extremely powerful. Intricacy having some terrible RNG with the AoEs. You can see them on the ground. There were not many safe places to stand. Looks like their Thief is down.
Thief for both teams is down.
Looks like Death and Taxes Thief rallies, and now Death and Taxes is moving on to the Melandru trash run. Intricacy is taking it down. So they are moving on. It was a little hectic there for Intricacy, but they are going. Looks like a Phalanx Strength build from Seshi. Interesting.
Wow.
It's actually not bad for Melandru, because there's really not a good place while you're fighting Melandru to stack Might. Oh, perhaps that was a troll there.
Hopefully he's able to get his traits back on as both teams navigate the hallway up to the boss's room.
Now in this room, to make the boss come active, you have to pour poison buckets on these stumps, and then the boss will spawn. The boss has 3 elite gorilla mobs that have to be killed before you engage him. Otherwise, they will very quickly shred you if you tried to fight them all together. So you're going to see one person probably for each team go and fill up the poison, and then the other players from the team will kill the gorillas.
It seems like we've got a warrior with a rifle for Intricacy.
I think Intricacy is going to range. Death and Taxes has begun meleeing the boss.
Looks like Intricacy might just want to play extra safe.
And Tim is down for DnT, and the Thief is down. Tim, they rally. The other Ellie's down. Looks like Death and Taxes is having a very difficult time on Melandru. Melandru at 33% for DnT.
And 70% for Intricacy.
Looks like DnT should be able to get them finished. They have everybody up. Everyone's at good health. The boss is going down for them. The Guardian goes down, but he does rally. And Death and Taxes is moving on with a very, not clean, but a very quick relative kill of Melandru. Intricacy ranging. This is more, I would say, of a pug tactic.
Absolutely.
But, it's the safer way to go for sure, because if you try to melee and it fails, you can pretty much give up.
Basically that.
We've seen it fail on stream many times before. Of course, Intricacy has quite the forest growing around them. That could be dangerous with that poison.
It looks like the Ranger's using a spider pit.
And there we go. Intricacy has defeated the boss. Now they are moving on.
Well, Rangers' ranged options for pets are very limited.
Well, I would have just used the bear pit. Just go up and tank. That would be interesting to see how long a bear could tank.
Looks like Intricacy stealthing past the mobs. They're going to have to kill this A-bomb to get this door open. And DnT making their way to Lissa. I believe her name is Farnaz, Priest of Lissa, something like that. Priest of Lissa is a mesmer. Her noteworthy attacks is she has Moa form. Moa form will do what it does in every other form of the game, turn someone into a Moa. Her other attack is she summons 5 clones and shatters them. Each clone shatter puts 5 stacks of confusion on you. So you will have 25 stacks of confusion, and she has ridiculously high condition damage. If you attack through that confusion, you will likely die. So it's up for the team to have the quickest possible condition removal against her.
Yep, it is entirely possible for everyone to die at the same time if that confusion is not cleansed.
They have
but it
Farnaz
looks like
at 50%. Looks like
Yep.
IV is getting to Farnaz now.
It looks like the boss is possibly bugged for DnT, though.
No, they tried to unbug it, looked like.
It doesn't look like it wants to unbug, though.
I mean, there's nothing they can... I mean, at this point, they just have to kill it.
Intricacy is catching up. Unless, of course, the boss bugs for them as well. But we'll see what happens. There goes the clones and the confusion removal.
Very quick.
But it looks like DnT has killed the boss. But, Intricacy is about to kill it. DnT making their way underwater. It is a bit unfortunate that the boss did bug out. It's just something that happens, really, with that boss.
And they did make the attempt to unbug it. Presume
Yep.
it won't be a problem. Now we have to run the orb. This is always annoying and can lead to confusion.
I'm gonna check in with Vix and see if he will let us know what the status about the Lissa bug is. So we'll see if we can get any news on that.
Yeah, the rule states that if a boss is deliberately bugged out, it's a problem. That was obviously not deliberate, especially since they backed away from it and stopped DPSing it.
Vix is saying that it's fine. It seems he's typing something else. I will relay that on when he finishes. Vix says he's pretty confident that you can prevent it if you CC her first. I think they did. They used Icebo 5, but she still bugged out. So And Dom does make a good point. All of the bosses in Path 4 have weird AI quirks. Except, I guess, Grinth. Grinth doesn't really have an AI. But it looks like Intricacy has definitely made up on that lost time at Melandru.
Some good Lucas RNG could push them ahead.
Yep. Intricacy made very good time.
Of course, DnT did lose some time trying to unbug that last boss.
It looks like Tim has managed to auto-target a Deadeye. That is not good. He's back on Lupicus now. Maybe, hopefully we see the,
Looks like DnT getting
Frenzied
trolled the
Bass.
same way Cryos did.
Yep, there it
Nope,
goes.
There we go. So it's that Lupicus is dead. DnT moving on.
Ivy's Thief is down. Looks like they're gonna get up though. Uh-oh! Feedback has gone through the wall.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
That is a wipe!
Maybe. We'll see.
Seshi is a very strong solo player.
This will still take some time. That Elementalist down skill.
I'm not sure what happened there.
The feedback was... The Mesmer didn't target it and the feedback went on the opposite side of the wall. So that was,
Time for a Staff Ellie solo.
Oh,
You
that is
laugh,
unfortunate.
but it's
that is
strong.
unfortunate for Lupicus. Or in Intricacy.
Tim taking the safe approach and just using staff on that last... whatever that is. I guess an undead turret.
So it looks like DnT is pulling the spiders and the elementalists. Uh-oh. They rally. Right after that big AoE explosion from the elementalists, I guess it managed to hit the wall of reflect.
They are
So we'll
down
see.
one person right now, so they are probably taking a safe approach so that that person can catch up.
Yeah, so definitely it looks like... Oh, maybe they've brought both of these groups of mobs in, yeah. It looks like it, but these mobs should be fine to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. So it still looks like the Defiler... Looks like the Defiler might have gone down, actually. The Grubs are just causing the problems now. Yeah, with their AoE Poison Spit. And it looks like their other member is getting caught up with him now, so we'll go and pull the giant group of mobs with the illusionist in it. Hopefully this pull goes well, as Intricacy retries Lupicus. There's a down, 2 downs right off the start for DnT. The Thief is now down. Another down. But it looks like they are out of the woods. Looks like they're gonna be okay.
See if Intricacy... Oh! Seshi ate the kick from Loopy there. He phases. They're going to get him up. And the feedback will kill Loopy. And Intricacy is moving on to the Grinth room.
So this boss right here is notorious for being slow and boring because you don't actually do anything to the boss. You have to fight a wraith that teleports around the room in order to get the boss to appear. And after the boss appears, he just spawns wraiths, and you have to kill all of the wraiths. And they spawn in a particular order, And you basically just have to group them up and kill them or run around the room and fight them. But, it's
a pretty boring event.
It's a pretty boring event.
Not as boring as the Burrow Room in ACP3, but as far as the Raw events go, it's one of the least interesting.
But it looks like Intricacy has managed to get into the boss's room. They're going to try and... It looks like they're going to try to pull all of the mobs together.
Could be a big time saver if they pull it off. Or they could wipe spectacularly.
That is possible as well. Looks like chat is exploding about Path 4.
Yes.
Ban Path 4 or Riot.
But it looks like DnT is continuing to kill the Wraiths, and Intricacy is about to be at that. They're going to start on the first Wraith that teleports around the room. So still a pretty fair bit behind right now. DnT is about 50% of the way done with this event. Intricacy not even having it started yet. They've got to get the first Wraith down. But time-gated events and dungeons are... I don't particularly find them to be a fun mechanic. I'm sure other people feel similarly to how I do on that. But I guess it's just something we have to live with for now, unless ArenaNet decides to change it at some point, which would be kind of nice. The Dredge Clown Car and Fractals used to be extremely notorious for being a long time gate that would get even worse as you progress through Fractals.
That clown car, I do not miss it.
Yeah, that was changed, thankfully.
For the better. They definitely listened to... That was the best thing that came out of the Fractal CDI, was the fix of the Dredge Clown Car.
Absolutely. So it looks like DnT is getting close to being finished with the Wraiths.
Is this the last wave? I've lost count.
Yes.
Yep. And now
there it
moving on
goes.
to Simmon.
Simmon, the High Priestess of Dwayna. Probably, I guess, the most well-known boss in this path, especially because it's a real pug buster. It used to be really bad, but ArenaNet has nerfed it several times and made a lot of changes to it, so it's not as much of a pug buster anymore as it used to be, but still kind of an annoying boss. But I think it's pretty fun. I really enjoyed working out strategies for this back in the Strife days. So it looks like they're approaching the cave where Simmon spawns, as Intricacy is about 50% done with the Grinth boss, killing the Wraiths. And so, in order to get Simmon to spawn, what must happen is these sparks must be put into the little cages around the statue here, and whenever the sparks go in the cages, she will come out, as she's doing right now. So, there's the boss, and it looks like DnT is just gonna fight her out in the middle, perhaps? Pretty close to the middle, it looks like.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's no real reason to wall her strategy-wise. It's not like you're going to Fiery Rush her.
yeah.
Maybe a marginal DPS increase from Warrior Whirlwind against a wall, but that's about it.
And they phased her. Looks
This
like
Tim
Tim
is,
is going to get petrified. Oh, maybe not. Why is he attacking anything? That's weird.
In an
Try to
attempt to
aggro it.
aggro it, which probably isn't working too well.
Definitely a pretty messy spark pool.
Oh, he needs to get in range of it so it sees him.
And Lissa's definitely healing, or Simmon's healing out.
Yep, this boss, whenever it is invisible like this, it does heal quite a bit, and you are timed as to how long it stays invisible and how long you have to damage it. So, it first goes invisible at about 50% HP, and then after that, each
Oh, and it looks like
invisibility...
DnT did not do it in a double pull.
Nope,
They're gonna
they'll have to do...
have to do another burn phase. That gives Intricacy a chance. They're actually catching back up.
They're approaching Simmon quickly. Tim does the spark pull correctly this time.
It looks like they're still having a lot of trouble with the spark. And Simmon is out. Hopefully they get Simmon here in this final phase.
I'd be surprised.
And Simmon is down, and DnT is moving on. They have this last trash run is somewhat challenging. After that trash run, they have the Bloodstone, which is a pretty straightforward boss.
So it looks like DnT is stacking swiftness as Simmon has just spawned for Intricacy. We'll see how well...
Pretty heavy DPS on Simmon.
Yep, we'll see how well they can do the spark pull. Hopefully a bit cleaner. So it looks like they're going to be approaching, DnT is going to be approaching this giant shark up here, which is completely ridiculous. It will one-shot you with no trouble at all. Even if you are...
navigated it well.
Yeah, even
Seems
the tankiest Nomad's warrior will die.
Seems like the shark was in a good position.
Intricacy has killed Simmon, and they are moving on. They have really narrowed down the time.
After a Lupicus wipe, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they are catching back up. Using the Mesmer to good effect. So the Bloodstone is guarded by 4 elite mobs. The teams are most likely going to have the Thief solo the Hunter, while the other 3 mobs are killed by the remaining 4 players.
So it looks like Intricacy is really close to DnT. It looks like they've stealthed past the shark, so they won't have to worry about possibly getting killed by it. But DnT is now killing the Hunter. So they should be able to deal with the Bloodstone Shard, but Intricacy is not far behind right now.
No, they're not. It's probably going to be within less than 2 minutes of difference.
Oh, definitely. But DnT does not have many opportunities to screw up at this point.
Yeah, the wipe on Lupicus seems to be the difference in this game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do we see Phalanx Strength coming out for Intricacy?
Maybe so. There are lots of targets to hit at this boss, so Phalanx Strength is not really a bad idea.
DnT, DPS in the Bloodstone, it's down to 33%. This looks like it will be it.
Another missed feedback.
Looks like the trash mobs, Intricacy has them down, and DnT has finished it and has defeated the Bloodstone. And they take the game. We're going to get the time soon. And we have our final semi-finalist.
Congrats to DnT for 2 pretty nice runs.
Yeah, that was a pretty overall run. I'm waiting to see the official time.